Now I'm thirsty. So, I really am parched. And you have,
I know what you're doing.
you have,
Not yet.
you have.
Not yet. Welcome to another episode of Life as I Know It. And another episode with Trevor Holt.
That's me.
And
I'm Trevor.
I always enjoy shooting with this guy because we have a lot of fun.
So much fun.
Are you anticipating something? You seem like you're on edge, like
No,
you're waiting for something.
not even a little bit.
No.
I'm so laid back that I could actually use something to give me a little energy. I think I'd be in a better place. I don't know what that means, but
So I brought up an idea. Oh,
so did I. But mine was turned down real quick.
What was yours?
Shaving your face, a challenge that if this happens, whoever wins, the loser has to shave their face.
Hey, I'll do it if I can come up with a challenge.
No,
Why?
because that's easy. That's like a cop out.
It'll be really hard to do.
Exactly. Which means it's going to be easy for you.
No, it'd be hard for me to do as well. Oh, actually, I do have a bet. Johnny, you're going to be paying me $100 come April 27th. Thank you. And if you're going to send it over Venmo or something like that, I want $105. So we did shake on this. We have witnesses at GAR. The Tough Mudder coming up. If anyone wants to run that, April 27th and 28th, I'm doing the Infinite one.
Yeah.
And Johnny said that I couldn't do 3 laps. I have 8 hours to do 3 laps. 8 hours.
8 hours to do this, and it's infinity, and it's crazy because it says tough in it. So I bet it's really, really difficult. So if you do not accomplish it, we could just add in.
No, I
Don't
don't want
shave
to
your
add
face.
in more than
Yeah,
$100.
exactly.
I don't want to be beaten there and then know that I'm coming back to my fatality where you're going to be
fatality.
yeah, with words are hard for me.
Yeah.
So, but when I do these 3 laps, you will know, like you do now, Johnny, I'm better than you.
Yeah. Always talking to the GAR buddies. I love you guys. You guys are awesome.
Yeah.
Obviously a big part of Ben's life because he won't stop talking about you on and off the camera. Just so you guys know, it's not only on these episodes that he talks about you. It's constantly.
Yeah, it's always a great time at GAR. We're always trying to push each other to be better. Some of us, other of us, are just not doing anything. Parts department. But I know that they're gonna listen to this, so I can't wait.
Those are my favorite people because those are the ones I know. So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
So what we're gonna do is behind us, I have some pre-workout, and we're both gonna take a full dry fire of pre-workout. So
So I don't know what dry fire is, guys.
So I'm gonna push my mic away for a second. I'm gonna show you what I'm talking about when I mean dry fire, and then Trevor's gonna kind of talk while I'm doing that because it's gonna take maybe 20 seconds, 25 seconds, and then you will repeat what I do. So, and then we'll just start the podcast and see what effects happen to us during this podcast.
Right on. It sounds good. So now I'm supposed to talk to you guys about something random, but for you who know what dry fire is, I guess we're about to figure this out. I'm a little worried because if it's just powder
Yeah, that's what we got.
to your dome,
We're not snorting it, bro.
dude, not snorting,
Okay.
but like, cuz have you ever done the cinnamon challenge?
Yeah, but it's different.
Yeah. So
So
I'm right. That's what it is.
yeah, so
Yeah, it is that. Yeah, it is that. It's just powder, and then you have to just down it.
No, but the cinnamon is. Dude, you're
Dry.
panicking, bro.
I'm not panicking. I thought this was going to be mixed
Why are
in
you
water.
scared, bro?
I'm not scared. I just thought it'd be mixed in water, and then like you drink it after it's mixed in water.
You take a scoop.
Yeah.
You don't scrape it off the top. That's what punks do.
So much for
You don't
talking.
Scrape it off, and then you okay.
He must have had 5 before because he already can't shut up. So I just want to take this time to apologize for the next 30, 45 minutes, whatever happens, and whatever you have to listen to, because I love that you guys listen. I'm glad that we make this content and you get to listen to it. But now I don't even know what this is.
All right, I'll grab your
All
water.
right. Yeah. Grab my water. I got to grab that so I don't go cinnamon, spit and puff everywhere.
Yeah. So what you're gonna do is when you throw it back, don't breathe or anything until you throw the water. Drink the water. This is what I normally do before the gym. Just get straight to you. It's not too bad. I'm gonna kick this over to my bag so I don't forget it.
All right. Not as bad as I thought. It's like back in the day when you're a kid, you get one of those little sticks with all that powder, and you say, I don't want to use the stick, and you just down some powder. That's like shock to your brain real quick, but then shock to the brain, then everything's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get the powder.
I don't know if the camera caught it, but the look on your face of like, I need to get this water in my mouth now.
Yeah, because I didn't want it to puff. When you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we're.
It's like ugh, everywhere, and you have to clean it up. That's no fun. So we're here.
Yeah.
Yep. No effects.
Have you? Yeah, they'll probably know when it kicks in.
Maybe.
But which I'm gonna be okay because I take it every day. But
that's how Ben lives his life. He challenges everyone else around him, like on things that he's good at. He does all the time because he knows he'll still be the winner. So, for all you talented people out there, Gar,
I'll die winning.
Yep. Why don't you guys? I'm sure you have to live with this part of Ben too. Challenge him to something that you're really good at that he has no idea about. Challenge. Oh, he is not interested in those things? That's fine. Make him do it so that when he challenges you, you feel a little bitter about it.
See, the problem you're going to have is that,
what's that?
When they challenge me where it's interesting for both of us. Like wrestling, they said we'll get 3 guys against you, and they were excited about that challenge.
Yeah.
And I honestly didn't. The only chance for me to lose is if they gave up, because it was just round after round after round after round. So I really did think I was going to lose. But
have you ever wrestled Cameron Clark?
Joking around.
So, Gar, if you guys challenge him to wrestle that guy, you might actually get a battle there. Because I know he's tough. I don't know. But if anything, I would go back to your high school buddies, right? Some of those people that used to be just crazy athletes that know how to wrestle and put them against Ben. Yep. They're going to have a lot. He's going to have a lot more problem with that. Because when you have that technique down, you can do some damage. Hey, that's not something I know. I'm not saying me because I never wrestled before.
Can't wait.
Yeah, I can't either. I want to film it just so we can have footage for the podcast so I can use it.
I think the great thing is even when I went out to Scott's house, I've been choked out. I've been knocked out. I have had my dad drag my face across the cage. I've been through losses.
So Scott, his name's Scott Wisdom. He's awesome. Hopefully we don't get in trouble for saying his name. But I don't know what he does now. I know he used to be a cage fighter.
Still roofs.
He roofs. He's always roofed. He's had a roofing company here in Rolla. But I've come up here and visit when I lived in Oklahoma, and they would tell me about this guy and how out at his barn, looks like a barn, but it's actually has a wrestling mat, has a cage in it, has all these things you can go work out in, and they do this periodically every week. So I got invited, and it was the craziest thing because I get invited out there, and then you're all like I'm only up here for a day or two, and then you get this other guy next to you, and you're like, yeah, come on, let's go. And then it's like, okay, are we just sparring? And then he's just like, doof, and you're like, what the, why? I mean, I thought we were joking around, and I know
It's all fun.
it is all fun. I don't disagree with that, but like, there's another challenge that I have, Ben, that I don't know if you've ever had to struggle with it at all. This is no offense, but I've always been huge, right? Always, with the people around me, always been big. So you have to dumb it down for the people around you. You have to. Not in football. That's why I love the sport. That's why I loved it so much, because you didn't have to dumb it down for anybody around you. Playing backyard football, things like that, not the same. You have to dumb it down still. But when you're there and everyone's hitting, you're like, I can't hit you as hard as I can, right? But then they're jabbing at you a little
But
bit.
that's why like just having the rule where you're not gonna punch each other, because no one anymore. Everyone's like, if I get hit, I'd lose my mind. All right, okay, tough guy.
Yeah.
But it's like, just to take all that out of there and say, okay, first one to tap, no punching each other, wins. That's the only rule. You try to grab their arm, you try to rip their arm off, you try to choke them out, you try to put them in a triangle, Kimura, you do whatever you can. You tap, you're out. Like, and it takes away from, like, whether it's a fear that you have of getting punched, whether it's a fear that you might lose your anger and then do something stupid, whatever the fear is, it takes that fear out, and you don't have an excuse, because you're wrestling, and then you have someone there to watch whether or not someone taps. Funny story. Real quick, I was wrestling Cordell, and thank God Keegan was there, because I had one arm wrapped up. I had his other arm wrapped up with my other leg, and I was choking him.
And he couldn't tap.
He couldn't tap.
Oh my God.
He couldn't tap. And Keegan.
Am I winning? Am I winning? I could just see you sitting there. What?
No.
The dude's gonna die. Like, let him go.
Squeezing him and squeezing him. And Keegan was like, okay, he's about to go out. He's about to go out. And Keegan's like, are you done? Are you done? And he was like, please save me.
He was trying to tap out with a head nod. Like,
but
yeah,
he thought he was tapping out with his fingers, because
Yeah.
his fingers still touch, and he was hitting his own leg. He didn't realize he was hitting his own leg trying to tap. And
he couldn't feel his leg. Guys.
so that's why it's important to have somebody there. Not to mention, if someone gets upset, we got a couple of guys that wrestle and stuff like that. They get upset, they get prideful because they lost or whatever. And you have enough people there that's like, nothing stupid's gonna happen, because there's too many guys that separate it. But wrestling and just doing that,
wow.
I think it's just so good to do. It's so much fun. It's
Good, wholesome fun. I agree.
like, yeah, and it's, and guess what? I'm gonna lose one day. Hey, Gar guys, one day. But I like challenging them, because I challenged them in the first one, and then now they're like making a plan for 4 guys. They're like, we're gonna get another guy.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I
want to video that too. So.
Oh, dude, I look like death when I did 3 guys, 4 guys. One of you guys will probably choke me. Don't know which one, because I'll die out there. So,
Pride yet again.
oh, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to talk crap to your friends, and then you guys go and do that stuff, and it's you got people watching on the sides, cowards, and they go out there, and I'm joking. Some of them just really old.
So,
like,
how long is this supposed to last? This, because I haven't felt anything yet.
I haven't either. This is all
You wouldn't.
This is all just me.
You wouldn't, though. I know that. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
So normally, if you're sensitive to caffeine, probably 15 minutes. If you're not sensitive, 30.
Sweet.
When your body gets hot and it starts to get tingly, let me know.
All right. I'll let you know. I'll tell you when it hits me.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that to happen.
But as far as like challenges and stuff like that, I would do any challenge if it challenged both of us, because that's how you grow.
Yeah, no, I agree. So
I'm not gonna, hey, let's take out an engine and a I don't know, whatever truck they're working on that, and then put it back together. It's like, well, that I don't even know where to start.
yeah. So that's a shout out to you guys. You guys can.
Fatherhood.
Yeah. Yeah, kids great. So you guys can go tear a vehicle engine and all that stuff apart
Fatherhood.
and put it back together, and that's awesome. So yeah, you guys hear that stomping? It's because we have kids. I have 4, but also babysitting a couple other ones. My oldest is babysitting a couple of children. I tell you their ages, but I don't know them at all because I'm horrible. For real. One of them's 2, I think. One.
How do you not know them? I knew them whenever I came in.
I know who they are.
Oh, you just don't know anything.
I don't know
about
their
them.
ages.
Oh,
It's Hannah and Elijah, but I don't know their names. Like, I mean, I know their names. I don't know their ages.
Hmm.
But besides that, Ben,
or would
how do you challenge yourself daily? What? What? Is there something over there?
dude? Last night, no, I was gonna ask you
What?
If you were interested in going to the Tough Mudder, but
The infinite one, or what was that?
you could do the 15K one with Johnny and them.
The 15K?
Yeah.
Is there a 1K? Because that sounds way funner. The word 15K reminds me of 15,000, and that's scary.
No, it's
I don't have 15,000 anything, Ben.
Yeah, I think
Like,
when they did the 15K Chicago, Illinois last year when we went.
okay, let's just make it American for this guy.
That's what I was about to tell you. And
Oh, sorry for interrupting.
and
Ben.
it was a 15K, but it was like
And he still
11
said
miles.
15K. Yeah.
11 miles. Well, I don't know what actually 15K comes out. They mapped it wrong.
Okay.
So Tough Mudder might map it wrong, but it's around 10 to 11 miles.
Yep. So let's go 1. 1 mile would be fun for this guy.
Look, this guy's not giving himself enough credit.
Yeah.
I did a
I am.
challenge with him years ago. Not 3 years ago, maybe 2.
I don't even know what challenge he's talking about. And he's
a
looking at
running
me for
challenge
some
for
kind of
miles.
reassurance.
This dude putting 40 miles a week.
Okay. That was a challenge among a bunch of men, and it was like, all right, and it was walking, running, jogging, and all that stuff. And it's a great thing to keep challenges in your life. It goes back to kind of what we're talking about, is how do you challenge yourself? And we're going to get there because Ben's going to answer it. But the reason where we're actually going, it's funny how it all fits together. We all need to be challenged. Sometimes we feel like we're all alone, and what do we do? How are we supposed to start and all that stuff? Well, and then you get this annoying brother, this annoying guy, I don't know, like that just spits all this crap about, you need to do this, challenge, aka Ben.
Cameron Clark.
Yeah, Ben. And you get those things because Cameron was never that guy for me.
No, I just said that as a joke.
Oh, I was gonna say he did not.
I
do
knew
that
you
to
were
me.
coming to me.
Yeah. So for Ben, and he's just like, do this. I want to do this. Want to do this challenge. We just ended a challenge in we were fasting, and we did the OMED. Is it OMED?
Yeah, 1 meal a day.
1 meal a day. And we did that, and it's like, okay, and it just keeps you going because you're like, okay, let's do it, and it's keeping you accountable to that challenge. It's talking about the challenges, the struggles with it. It's like, all right, so we start out with fasting. Okay, let's fast for 3 days. All right, we're going on this 72-hour fast. I've done it before, not a big deal. For him, a little bit bigger of a deal. Well, why? Because I'm more of a man? No, the dude works out twice a day. So, and you have to cater to some of those things and understand what you can accomplish. Because if you're going to exert your body with work, your normal job, then go clean cars on your side hustle or whatever.
I do have to work after this. Yeah, I gotta
Yeah.
clean a truck.
Yeah, so your side hustle, and then also, well, I got to spend an hour or 2 in the gym per day, and you don't have any calorie intake.
It's like I've been drinking water.
Yeah, it's like water. The most there's no calories there. So what do you do? And so that's why we tampered it. And we're like, okay, let's do the OMED and keep each other accountable and walk that out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an awesome opportunity to do that. So we need people to help us to go through those challenges. And some people are in their heads going, man, nope, I can do it myself. That's a big lie, because if we were all honest, how many of us are all doing it ourselves then?
That's a good point. Are you the greatest you can be?
Or have you settled?
I mean, that's what I ask myself daily. Are you the greatest you could be? Today, are you the greatest you could be? And then I challenge that with
I like
hanging
that.
out with people like you. where it's like, I'm the greatest I can be. I went to the gym, I did all this stuff, and then I look at him and he's over here like juggling family, juggling podcast, juggling church stuff, worship stuff that you guys do, juggling youth, juggling all this stuff, and it's like I could do more.
Yeah, and man, it's all about perspective when it comes to those things too. And for a little bit of encouragement, if you are out there, you're listening, and you're like, man, I do need people around me. I do need to get started. I need to do something. Yeah, but realize what you're doing already, right? And start one step at a time. One of the biggest problems is going, man, look at all that they do. I got to do that. Well, you're going to kill yourself in day one, and then you're not going to want to do it at all.
Just to
You'll
clarify, you mean exactly what they're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if I say, okay, you're going to gym 2 hours a day, you're doing that. You're also doing a job, your full-time job, then a side hustle. And then I'm going to compare my life to yours. And I'm going to go, oh, man, I need to do all of that. And then I go out there and I try to do that.
And
Ben,
forget you have 4 kids.
Yeah. For me, for me specifically. But I don't have that capability in my life. The way it's set out,
Yeah, you can't.
I don't have that. I can't fit that much in there. So do I go try and fail and give up on all of it? Or do I start with, all right, this dude has a healthier lifestyle. How am I going to do that to the life that I live?
Yeah.
Wake up early. Stop being lazy. Okay, that's 2 big ones. And push yourself every single day to do something that you don't want to do. That's one of my biggest things right now, because I always have you in my life all the time. You're like that annoying fly that you want around. I don't even know that exists, but you do. But it's like, okay, yeah. And it's not that Ben really annoys me, but
I'm a lot to take in.
no, not necessarily.
To the extent of
I mean, that's personal
I'm
stuff.
always
That's,
calling
could be awkward,
and
but anyway,
deeper.
that's horrible.
Hey, look.
So back to this part, but it is a challenge to say, man, I want to surround myself with people that I see that are better than me in other avenues. And I want to say, let's get there. I don't want them to stop running, because then I'll get there. And then what happens? And I'm like, well, I'm going to surround myself with other people. But we need to, oh man, this is going to be a good one. I'm not tingling yet, but this book,
My body's getting warm.
I'm not yet. The Power of One More. One of the parts in there that I want to focus on right now is about surrounding yourself with people. Is we get so used to being that we get used to having the thermostat at what it's at. All right. So
the thermostat chapter. Yeah.
I love it. So it's like, okay, I'm a 72 degrees guy. Like, and that's for sure. If it's 72 degrees, and it drops to like 68, man, that's kind of getting cold. You know what I mean? This is in winter or whatever. So I want it kind of around that. In the heat though, if it's around 72, 71 and it gets to that, man, I'm hot. Like, I need the AC on. Like, what's going on? Because that's the life that we live. We're all mixed up in our culture and our comfortability and all that stuff. So this chapter talks about, look around you. Look at the people around you. A lot of us have encircled ourselves with 70-degree people. Why? Because I'm 70 degrees. I don't want to meet. I don't want to get up to 100 degrees, man. That's too hot. I don't want to get down to 30 to 28, whatever degrees, because that's too cold. So what we're comfortable with, what that degree that we're comfortable with, we try to surround ourselves with that kind of person. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. The people that are going to go, yeah, man, we don't need to do that. Yeah, man, you're good. Yeah, I blame them too. It ain't your fault. Yeah. It's their fault. And we surround ourselves with these people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The reason why you say I'm annoying is because when I come into the room or get into his life, I turn that thermostat up to 110.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, dude, we're not living comfortable. We're not living comfortable. And that's why he's talking about I'm that like annoying guy, because every time me and him talk on the phone or something like that, I'm challenging his 70-degree weather. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, no, we're not staying in the 70-degree weather, because that's where weak men are made. We're going to turn this furnace up, light it on fire. But I do want it hot. I do want you uncomfortable. I want you to wake up in the morning and go, well, it looks like I got to do this, like, because I want to challenge you. I want to be better together. And you got to find people in your life that will do that.
No, absolutely. And I agree with you. And sometimes, Fatherhood. I get it.
Fatherhood.
Yeah. So, and sometimes we are that without trying, right? Because I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see it being a big effort for you, Ben.
So
You live your life.
to
I look at the way you live your life and I go, man, I got to get better at that.
to clarify how I live my life is I don't like the same thing. I don't want my thermostat always on 70. Matter of fact, last night we talked on the phone and I said I'm on a mission to challenge myself because I last night I got home. I was just on my bed. I knew I had to take a shower real quick, so I was going to get in the shower, and I wasn't even playing music or anything. And I just had the thought. I was like, dude, you say all this stuff, bro. You say all this stuff. Are you getting weak?
Yeah.
Are you getting weak because you used to run marathon all the time? And so like I don't need someone to come change my thermostat. I change it myself, and I'm like, oh, we're gonna suffer. We're gonna find out because I'm very big on in a lot this book, David Goggins, Jocko Willink, JRE. There's a lot of things in my fatherhood. There's
Let's pause for a second. Mackenzie! All part of fatherhood.
ears bleeding.
Yeah, I can't tell if there's crying or what.
No, someone is jumping up and down.
Mackenzie! Kenzie! It's quiet. Maybe I'll get her. Is someone coming through the roof? Is someone trying to come through the ceiling? Well, someone's jumping around like a mad person. Okay, what? Yeah, please. Thanks, baby. I'm trying to shoot, honey. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Ben. Back to what you were saying.
Hey, dude. We had to take a quick pause there. Fatherhood. Somebody was playing a jumping jack simulator.
Something.
So
like that dance thing. Remember those dance pads?
yeah, Dance Revolution.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. They were playing that upstairs, so we had to, hey guys, everything's shaking.
Shut it down a little bit. That's all. Just shut it down for a second.
Pause it. But the thing about changing the thermostat and stuff like that, and what this book goes into, I listen to a lot of things in my life that immediately inspires me. And I don't go out and have to have somebody like, man, I wish somebody would just really turn my thermostat up. And I get what they're talking about, but I don't have anyone else in my life like that. You got YouTube, you got books, you got things that you can challenge yourself with. And so for me, even last night when I was like, dude, I'm on a mission to challenge me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the gym. And dude, I was exhausted last night. I still was like, I'm gonna go do it, and so I went to the gym. I put in like I think 4.5 miles altogether.
Yeah.
And then I went and lifted weights for a little bit. But when I left, I was like, all right, if that's what you got today, that's what you got. I didn't have to question whether or not I worked hard enough. That's what I had.
Yeah.
So I challenge everybody. Here I am challenging somebody again. To when you go to bed, did you actually try? Whatever that is, did you actually try to be a good dad? Did you actually try to be a good mom? Did you actually try to be a good leader in whatever work and whatever you're doing? And so that's what I do. And so in situations, I don't need someone to come in my life and change my thermostat up. The downfall of you being my friend is that whenever I get inspired, now he has something in his life because I feel that fire in my heart, dude. Oh man, when I call Trevor, he's gonna hate me. Hey, what's up, man? So I'm thinking we're not gonna eat anymore. Yeah, for 2 years, and and we're just gonna try our hardest to survive.
Yeah.
And so sometimes, and I need him in my life because he's like, hey, dude, not a good idea. I think you might die for 2 years, I think you might die. How about let's do 3 days?
Yeah.
And it's like, so you do need everyone, because if I didn't have anyone in my life, I don't even know if I'd have a job, because I'd always be on the road running, going, who's gonna carry the boats? Who's gonna?
Yeah. Forrest Gump type running.
Yeah. And so it's like, you need balance in your life, but you also need to evaluate yourself and say, am I doing what I know I should be doing, and am I doing it to the fullest?
Absolutely. I think we're going to have to pause this a second so I can go not hurt a kid.
Yeah. I heard it, but I could not concentrate long enough. I was like, oh, concentrate, get through it.
So we're not going to do the dance anymore. Thanks. Best friends upstairs.
Who's that? Oh.
You guys talking yet?
You got somebody crying.
It's because they have to leave. I'm sure.
Oh.
So you didn't answer my question. Are you guys back talking?
Yeah, I'm not, because it's recording. Once it's not recording, I'll tell you about that.
Okay. I don't need to know. It's not that big of a deal. I just wanted the world to know. I'm kidding.
No. But man, you're gonna have some cutting to do on this one. This is so brutal.
Not really.
I
tell it all. Just kidding. This is during a transition, so it doesn't really matter. I just know when to start it afterwards.
Yeah. Action. Ears bleeding. So about challenging yourself and stuff like that, I think if we all just looked at our life daily. The problem is, I think sometimes we look so far and we're like, I'm gonna get to my goal in 6 months.
Yeah, the biggest deal for me though is don't overwhelm yourself with challenges. Work on a challenge and get there.
Oh, dude, I have the opposite effect.
Yeah. Well, then you'll never get anywhere, because then you'll never get to a challenge. You'll never complete the challenge, whatever the task is, the challenge, whatever you're trying to do. I'm not saying that within the challenge of getting healthier. Okay. Within the challenge of getting healthier, I want to eat better.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be more active in those things. There's more challenges that are going to go with that, right?
So,
but that's getting healthier. That's the parent subject, is to get healthy. But if we try to change our whole life and try to do all these little things, we never really reach anything, because there's so many things to get done. And
a lot. Yeah.
I think sometimes we get overwhelmed. This isn't just about you. You really have to self-diagnose this and self-evaluate. Can I accomplish these 25 things in the next month? Well, no. Well, let's work on 3. As that becomes a habit, becomes part of my pattern, right? Because we all leave patterns. We never really got to talk about that. We all have these patterns that we create in our life. Once it becomes part of the pattern, part of the habit, this is me, this is who I am, part of my identity, then I'm going to move on to something else, because I don't have to work on it. But if I say, I'm going to add all this to my life, it's like, you might add one, maybe a half of one. Instead, find out what that challenge is, really challenge yourself, create the habit, and create another one, create another one, create another one. Does that make sense? Don't get too overwhelmed with it.
It does. I would question. I'm curious how crazy our minds are different. Because, so let's say, do you have a fitness challenge?
Do I have a fitness challenge this year? Like right now that I'm working on?
Yeah, that you're
yes.
Like, okay, what is that?
Be active twice a day.
Be active twice a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which
What's your end
it doesn't
goal?
have a time there.
What's your end goal? Because that's your standard. What's the end goal?
The end goal is it's not a weight loss
Okay.
thing, but it's to be able to keep up with my kids, Ben,
Okay.
because I'm at the age now where
50,
I'm
55.
36, where I'm 36 years old, and I can't get up and down like I used to.
Okay.
Right. So I would say I want to start doing squats. That's my big thing. I try to do every day is to have a session of squats, even if it's just on my own weight squats, you know what I mean? And then burpees and things like that I want to try to do every day
Good
so that I
stuff.
can get better at it, because I don't want to be someone who can't go out and play catch with my kids. I don't want to be someone who has a grandkid one day. God forbid that comes anytime soon. For real. But have a grandkid someday and they want to do something and I can't do it. I just want to be healthy enough that I can do those things. I'm not aimed for the beach body so I can go show off. I don't need that in my life, man. I don't. It doesn't mean anything to me. With that said, it wouldn't be a bad thing if I could pull off a look where my wife would be a little excited to see me. You know what I mean?
Like, oh, we're going on a float trip. You're gonna have your shirt off.
That's nice. Yeah, exactly. Not saying that's a bad thing, because
Yeah.
it's like I don't ever want to get caught in that mindset, and it's about to switch gears, and I hate to do that in the mid subject, but I don't want to lose it. But I think so often when we're married, we have our kids, we have our life,
Yeah.
we're in our little slump of life. It's not a slump. I get it. It's a great thing.
Yeah.
We get stuck there and comfortable.
Comfortable.
Yeah, comfortable.
Comfortable.
So comfortable
70-degree weather.
that we get into the 7 degree, and that's our thermostat, and that's what we surround ourselves with. What we don't understand is that's what we produce in our kids. That's dangerous. That is dangerous.
Oh,
Which-
dude, we think so differently.
Yeah, we do, because my name's Trevor and yours is Ben, and that's why we need each other. But with that, I think it goes back to the challenge with your kids. It's to challenge them, get them challenged, make sure they're suffering in a good way, healthy way, and all that
I'm
stuff.
not gonna feed you for 2
Yeah,
years.
yeah, you're gonna fast for a week. Don't fast your kids, man. I mean, if you are, pray about it, do whatever if God tells you to. But nowadays, you have to jump through too many loops to try that one. But you understand what I'm saying. Put them in a stressful situation. Okay, there was a study done with mice in a water. Do you know it?
Water and are you talking about which one? Because there's one about sugar and cocaine as well. I'm trying to figure out which one you're going with.
Nope.
Okay.
No, I don't think it might be. It might be. Okay, I don't know if it's a mixture of the thing. The one I'm remembering is they do this thing, and then with the mice, they came and they rescued the mice, and then put them back in there. Right. The first time when they were about to give up, they were about to just give it all up. I'm done. All that stuff. They just let them in there. They would have just sunk to the bottom and died. Right. But when they did that, and then they saved them.
He's not talking about drinking. He's talking about mice swimming.
Swimming. Yeah. Sorry about that. So as they went to sink or whether they saved them and then put them back in there. Okay. The second time, they lasted forever. Right. So much longer period of time. Why?
They know something's coming to save them.
They knew something was coming. Pause. What?
You know where the popcorn bag is that it was full and grandma put it in the kitchen?
No.
Okay.
All right. Love you.
Bye.
Please shut that door. I'm shooting right now, bub.
Huh?
Hey, go up there and shut the door, buddy. I'm almost done. Maybe. Because I'm starting to feel fuzzy. Yeah. Go ahead.
So because the mice knew somebody was coming to save them, that's why they went that much farther. I think what's crazy though is about how we think differently. Is I asked you, what your end goal was. and it went to your family. Then it went to because you want this discipline in your life of burpees and stuff like that. Then you went to I want to have my grandkids be able to go do stuff, and like if they go to a cookout, it's probably what he's talking about, and they want to play catch, he can go play catch. He's healthy enough to do all that and get
Yeah.
up and move and okay, so now ask me that same question.
Do you want to be a good dad?
It's
I'm
not-
kidding.
it's
I'm
not what it
kidding.
was.
I know.
Answer's yes.
What is your end goal, Ben?
To go to the darkest place in my mind and to find out who's hiding in it.
So,
Because whenever I run, and this is why like fitness is so easy for me to accomplish. I don't have like a six pack or anything like that. People are like, you go twice a day and you look like that. Yeah, dude, I like tacos and beer. Okay, but
the next podcast,
tacos and beer.
tacos and beer.
Yeah.
That's funny. That'd be a
And
funny one.
so I do this stuff because of mental. Like a lot of it is mental, and so my end goal is at the end of whatever I'm doing. Like I'll have days where I'm like, I'm gonna run to another town, and I'll run from St. James to Rolla, and then when I get to Rolla, I'm like, not far enough, and then I'll just keep running, and I won't even have music playing. It's
Yeah.
just my thoughts, because I know at the end of like that one night I did 29 miles. I found such a clarity about myself where I could actually deal with the stuff that I've been bearing.
Mm.
Because it's like every mile, I don't know what it was. It was like I had a shovel and I was just digging and digging and digging. Like, I know Ben's down there somewhere.
Yeah.
I know Ben's down there somewhere. And I'm not saying you got to do that to find that, but that is what I go after. That's what I search for. And so if what you search for and you can get it out of reading books, or you can, but it's where everything is quiet and everything comes at a standstill, and then you're like, oh, this is what peace is. This is what peace is. And I feel like so many times in my life, when we're talking about fitness and stuff like that, people are like, oh yeah, it's just a gym rat, like he just, I enjoy it, but I'm searching for something, and I'm searching for who I really am out of this stuff. So for you, it's almost like, like I know you're in a daily, whatever to find yourself, but it's almost like you're more secure in who you are than I am.
I see what you're saying, but I'd also I'd challenge it in the way of saying settled. It's settled because for me, we all have a dream to find this person we're supposed to be, our mission, our goal,
Purpose. And
yeah. And for me, I think I've became comfortable in the fact of saying I've reached that goal. That's a false, Ben. That's a false. That's a lie, right? Because that, I believe, that's where the enemy wants us. Is at that
70-degree
point
weather.
70-degree weather. That's what it comes to.
Yeah.
Because I have had it at 72 for so long now, Ben. I made it. I am good now. Why? Because it's such a consistent 72. The people around me are all 72. Never have to worry about anything outside of 72. So much that I think about, well, my kids' future. My future and having grandkids and those things, because my life already made it, bro. Already done. I'm settled, all that stuff.
And he's not saying that's a bad thing to think about that stuff.
No, not at all.
I get what you're saying because I know you, but just for the
Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, clarify. Because you don't ever want to be done building yourself. Because me, I was just talking to John, my pastor, uncle, just awesome dude. But I was just talking to him, and I want to make myself more valuable. All right? That's not a money thing, right?
Yeah.
I want to be more valuable for the kingdom of God in everything that I do. I want to learn how to do a lot more heavy equipment jobs. I want to learn how to do learn different equipment, different tasks, different things like that, like shooting podcasts, video editing, things like that. That's my passion, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love that I'm unlocking that passion now, Ben. I'm on a whole nother level of that instead of being surrounded by 70 degrees,
Mm-hmm.
right? 72 degrees,
It's
because it's outside of it.
it's almost like the analogy that keeps coming to my mind is, have you ever been driving? You know where you're going, but then you start to think about something, and then you get to the place and you're like, I don't even remember driving here, because you were thinking about, whatever and stuff like that, and you weren't actually living in the moment. Maybe it's just me and I'm a psychopath, but sometimes, like, I'll be driving on the highway, I'll think about something, and then I get off at the St. James exit, and I'm like, I don't even remember driving between here and St. James. That is what 70-degree weather is.
Oh man, it's good.
Is you get into
Autopilot, right?
yeah, you get into a point where you're living, but you're not. You're not even in it, but you feel like you're passing by time, but you're not even actually in the reality.
Yeah.
And so that's what I hate. I hate that feeling of, it's like, I wake up, I go to the gym, I go to work, I go to the gym for my lunch, I go to work, I clean some trucks afterwards, and I have my daughter half the time. Whatever nights I have her. We turn on cartoons, we play with her toys, we play on the floor. I go to bed, I wake up, and that's just my life. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it, because I feel like I've been in that situation so many times that I forget years. And
Click.
and so
Again.
yeah, and so sad movie. And so in that, it's like, I want to be at a point in my life where I wake up and I'm like, what am I going to do today? Because, okay, let's not go to the gym in the morning. Let's go for a run. Let's change it up. And most of the time you'll find out that I didn't change my standards. I'm still working out, but I did something different. I went on a run, and something else will come out of that, because it's just a minor change. You go to work and you're like, you know what? Normally at work I listen to podcasts. Today I'm going to listen to elevation or worship or rap, or whatever your forte is. And then during that, a thought comes up about something that you weren't even thinking about, and it like starts making you think, oh, maybe I can do that better. Maybe I should do this. Maybe I should build a relationship with that person. Maybe I should. And I just love the randomness of it, because it reminds me I'm alive. It reminds me of, like, you have decisions, and you don't want to drive another 5 years in your life and go, did I live that 5 years?
Yeah.
Or is that 5 years just gone?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great picture of putting your life in autopilot, and how to stay out of that is by really to evaluate yourself, what you're going through, and all those things, and change it up a little bit, shake up some things. I mean, that doesn't mean that I'm putting my standards down, like you said.
Yeah.
It means that I am challenging myself, keeping my standards, but changing it up. You know what I mean? And seeing how far you can push yourself. And that's where it comes from for me, this conversation, when you said, like, how do you, what's your end goal was the question. And I want to find the end of myself, the deepest, darkest place, and who that is, and fix that, or however you look at it. Ben, that is the temperature change that I'm talking about. Like, me being around you ain't trying to do nothing. You're talking about your testimony. You're talking about your life. You're talking about your truth, what you're going through. And it just digs in me like, oh, no, I'm going to 73. I'm going to 74, 75. I'm turning up the heat, because that's a good point. I want to find out who I am, who I was created to be, what those gifts and talents in my life are, so that I can reach those goals, instead of just being an autopilot going, day one, this is what I'm doing. Day 107, that looks the same. It's the same exact thing, because we're stuck there. We're stuck in that 72. I keep going back to that. Set the thermostat to a different degrees and try to live it.
Yeah,
don't go back.
Because the thing is, I mean, if you did what you always do, then you'll always get what you got.
And another truth in that, Ben, is to say, there's a scale, right, of 100, and I'm sitting here saying 70, because that's what I'm thinking of. You said 110, and I'm like, wow, you're really an overachiever because I didn't know there was 100. You know, I'm going from a scale of 1 to 100. And so often I'm at 72, 72. That's what I'm talking about. Dig into yourself. You're going to realize you've had it at 5 degrees the whole time. There's so much more to live. There's so much more to do. And you going, man, I'm at 110, and you find out later, man, I was at 15 when I said that comment.
Well, yeah, not only that, too, but your brain shut off at 100. Mine went to 110 because I was thinking 200 was
Yeah.
my max.
Yeah.
But it's because for a while there, I was at 100 or 70.
Yeah.
And then I was like, let's go to 100. I can go deeper in this.
Yeah.
And then you go to 110, and then you go to, and and so once you have a barrier set and you break that barrier, you're going to find out real fast that, like you said, you were at 5, you were at 15, you were at such a small cage.
Yeah.
And dude, do you want to be a trailblazer? Do you want to set the direction? And even if no one else has went that direction, no one else is going to go and explore that area, you're like, I'll do it. I'll do it.
And
I think about that a lot.
it goes back to our minds. It goes back to our
Yeah.
mindset. Do I want to be a trailblazer? No, don't care to. Doesn't matter to me at all. To you, total
Feels
opposite.
good.
Yeah. For me, in the same concept, I want to show my kids how to get to where I'm at, and for them to be there as soon as possible so they can go so much farther. Right? So is that a trailblazer? In a sense. You know what I mean?
For your kids.
That's the ones that matter to me in that sense. Not that yours don't, but I'm saying that that's where my focus is all the time. So, so am I a trailblazer? Yeah, I think we all are trailblazers. It's just, it depends on your definition of trailblazer, because some of us are really weak and lazy at it. And then we only made it a couple feet in this trail that we've made, and our kids are going to have to go. But if you really go after it and you set that blaze and you go for those miles, your kids ain't going to have to fight through that stuff. So really depends how you look
I'm
at
going
it.
to ask you the same question after I'm asking this question in myself right now. And the question is, what do I want to be able to tell my daughter that I went through, so that when she gets to that mountain, she's not going to have no one there to tell her how to get through that, because dad already went through it.
Yeah.
And like, I think about that a lot, whether it's, I hate bringing this up, but it's like so close with fitness, and stuff like that, where she's like, Dad, I really want to do track.
Yeah.
And I just don't know if I can run 5 miles. Like, hey, look, babe, I didn't think I could run.
Yeah.
Till I started running.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and dad's doing, 29 miles on a Thursday night or Friday night or whatever it is. And it's because I broke that barrier. And so let's go do it, because I want to tell her that whatever you think your mindset is, it's small. It's small. It's small. It's so small. And, I've never been a guy who reads books, and now I'm reading books. And it's like, I always thought books were, oh man, it's a waste of time. It's going to be too hard, stuff like that. And then I would justify it and be like, all right, so what movie am I going to watch? And it's like, so there's an hour and a half, 2 hours. Some movies right now are 4 hours or however long they are. And it's like, so you can justify that, but you can't justify this. Why?
Yeah.
And it's because your mindset, laziness, whatever. And so what are you willing to do now, so that when your kids reach the same wall that you are at right now, you can say, this is how I did it?
Okay. Surround yourself with good friends that, and surround, that doesn't mean have a lot. So don't take that wrong.
I didn't, because I know you. But
yeah. Thanks for clarifying. Because when you get a lot of friends and stuff, that's the shallower that your relationships are going to be. So I would teach them about relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Number one foremost being God, having that relationship with God, and that's what I want to teach them. And more than anything that I could ever say, do, walk, or anything, is to have that close relationship with God. Because the closer you are with God, the more confident you're going to be the more of a clear identity you're going to have and know who you were created to be. And when you reach those mountaintops or you reach those valleys, you're going to have someone there to help you through it. That's why relationships are important, because at the end of the day, Ben, I know the truth. The truth is, I will not always be here for my kids. Statistically, I will be gone before them. At that point in time, I want them to have someone to turn to.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, God. And then that comes to the lesson of other relationships. And that's to have people that are going to challenge you, that are going to push you, and that are not going to let you settle. Because that's where you get at 72 degrees and you stay there for the rest of your life.
So just for people out there right now, how do you evaluate whether or not you are someone who's settled? Because there's people right now probably listening going, have I settled? How do I know if I've settled?
Yeah. Well, I will tell you this first. You've settled.
You're asking the question.
Yeah. I mean, that's just all there is to it.
Nobody that just ran, 20 miles or read 3 books in a week or have grinded, staying up late to do school projects or whatever, college or whatever you guys are into, is exhausted going, have I settled, man? I only did like 35 miles.
Yeah, and that's how Ben thinks. To me, to be honest with you, I mean, just to stretch that thinking a little bit, is you've all settled. No matter who you are, where you are, you've settled. Why? Because you are where you are. That doesn't mean you're not trying to get somewhere else. But in our life, in the picture of fitness, let's just look at that avenue. Maybe that is something we've never give up on, and we're still running and we're still doing those things, right? What about your career? Have you settled for that? Or are you still trying to climb the ladder? What about who you are in your community? Have you settled for that? Or are you still trying to change the community you're in a positive way? The relationships that you have around you right now, have you settled in them? Every one of us has relationships that we've settled in because we're not pushing that certain someone because they're annoying and it sucks to be around them.
You're welcome.
Not meaning Ben, that was a different kind of suck being around them, but what I'm talking about is people that just annoy you, that you're like, man, they don't challenge me. They don't help me. They're not doing anything for me, but God put them in your life for a reason to go in there and say, okay, I'm going to be the one that maybe it's one-sided, but I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to help you. I'm going to serve you. I'm going to get you to a different place in your life. So I think no matter what, you've settled somewhere. Finding those places where you've settled and throwing in a challenge, which is why it's good to have those relationships, right, Ben? And it's to have those relationships where they are going to challenge you in that way so that your kids know, I need to get better for me.
Here's how I describe whether or not you have settled. Me and Trevor have talked about an analogy about a different subject, about a campfire. And this fire, this big bonfire, people that are running to be the best that they can possibly be in whatever avenue that is, being a parent, being fit, being great in your community, being a great worker, stuff like that. Let's call that the fire. The fire is the thermostat's to the roof. You're on fire. Okay.
Yep.
And but on the outskirts of it are woods. And there's some people that are cold and they're shivering and they don't even know where the fire is. They can't even see the fire. It's this ginormous fire. That's how far you are away from reaching what you were supposed to be reaching. And then as you get closer in, you're like, I smell a fire. I know my goals are right around the corner. I know I'm so close to them, but I just don't know where they are. I just don't know which way to go and stuff like that. And then as you get closer and closer and closer, you get to a point where you've been living so close to what you know you should be doing, but not actually making it, that you smell like smoke because you're so close to it. But you're not actually in it. And so what I would do if you want to evaluate yourself is, are you on fire every day? Are you on fire for those goals? Are you I have like the gym. The gym is my what I'm going to do. The standard is I'm going to get there. And so, do you have standards in your life that point you in the direction of the bonfire, of your goal, of the direction that you're supposed to be going? And once you find those standards, you'll get closer and closer and closer to your goals, and eventually you're going to be like, man, I have been sweating my butt off for a long time, and it's because you're living so close to your goal and standard and what you want to do in life, and that you're in the fire.
Yeah, and then to make that go even farther too, Ben, is not just surround yourself with those standards, but people with like-mindedness. Those like-mindedness standards, the same kind of standards, so that if it, man, I want to be in shape. I want to be fit. You need to find a Ben Howard. You need to find someone like that and say, for real. I mean, think about it, Ben.
Yeah.
All right, this is the area I want to get better. Okay. Nope. I'm tired. I'm lazy. All this stuff. We have David Goggins, and you can turn to him and watch some videos on him and stuff. And that's cool. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Awesome. No beef against that. And you have to like really dig into yourself, and you have to tell yourself that, okay, what if I can't do that? I know for a fact that I can also look at that phone and I can argue with it and say, don't dial that number. Don't dial that number. Okay, dial the number. Ben, I'm lazy. I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit here. So I need a little bit of a boost. And he is going to get the biggest high out of that.
Oh, dude, I get fired up.
That person in your life that will be a real relationship, that will really talk to you and be real with you, because they know what you can handle, what you can't. He ain't going to sit there and say, well, you're a bad father and your kids are going to die because you're an idiot. Like, well, yeah, now I hate you and I might come with a gun next time I see you. You get what I'm saying? But he will know those boundaries well, because he has that relationship with you. He is a friend. He is that brother that you need to say, all right, bro, I'm going to take off the gloves. I'm going to hit you a little bit, make you want to fight so you can go to the gym, go around the block, run 500 miles, whatever it is. And he'll push you like that. That is the point.
It's more than boundaries, though, because I know your past. I know that you're capable of a lot of stuff. You just forgot. I haven't.
Yeah.
So you'll forget, sometimes that, like you're using fitness and you're like, I don't want to call. I know he's going to say something to me, and then I'm going to be on some stupid diet or something like that I'm going to have to do. Or I'm going to be on some running challenge.
Yeah.
But he didn't want to call because he knew he'd have to address some things. But it's almost like you forgot of the stuff that you've already done. And you forgot of some of the challenges that we've already done. You forgot some of the things that you've said, or, I can do this, or, even some of the analogies like the campfire one that we were talking about. We were talking about it getting close to God and stuff like that in ours. But it's like we've had talks that, you might need somebody that'd be like, no, dude, remember when you did this?
Yeah.
Remember how good you felt and stuff like that? I was saying an example in whatever episode it was, about the guy that I was talking to at work. And he was telling me, he's like, yeah, dude, man, we worked out for those 3-4 months. I felt really good. And, I wish I could go back to that. Well, you can.
Yeah.
You can. Remember how great you felt? Remember how, hard it was the first month or a month and a half, but then, it got easier. You got excited to go to the gym, and then you got excited to take supplements and stuff like that. And you were telling me that, your home life's easier. It's easier to wake up in the morning. You don't feel exhausted when you go home. You have all this energy. And in your life, it's like whenever you call me and stuff like that, I can remind you of those times and say, no, dude, Trevor, remember when we did this? Remember when you would call me walking from church to your house, being like, trying to get those miles in, brother.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be the best I could be. I got the roller. You had a stroller with a kid in it. You had a backpack with kids stuff in it. You're walking with your whole family to church during the summer. Like, nope, this is a new family goal. And it's like, I can remind you of that stuff. So,
yeah. So we just had that phone call live, right on the podcast. You're welcome, because that's exactly what it was. I was being figuratively speaking and having those people in your life, and then Ben took it as, it's my time to shine. And then he does it, and he's like, yeah, but it's actually reminding you of what you have done, or what you can't say, and what was all going to happen. And then I'm sitting here going, dang, I have done that.
Yeah, you
I
start
can do this.
exactly.
All right, man. Now I'm all pumped up. Not sure if it's the wonderful pre-workout or if Ben's just giving me that energy. I don't know. Maybe it's a mixture of both.
Yeah, but that's the importance of having people like that in your life. And it's not having 10, it's not having 20, it's having a couple people in your life that sometimes I don't want to call this person because they're gonna fire me up. But I know I need to.
Yeah.
I need to call them. And so set your standards, set your goals, go after them, and have someone in your life that it's not going to be a fun conversation sometimes, but you need it. You need it so that you're not stuck at 70. You can get past 100. He didn't even think that it went over 100. Yeah. I knew it did. And I'm going to challenge him now to go to 120. And he doesn't even know it exists. So it's like...
Turning it up.
Turn it up, dude. And, but, there's some things in my life that, I might, struggle with stuff like that where I'm like, man, I don't want Trevor to see me as a punk. I don't want to call him, but I'm struggling with, whatever. And then I call him, and then Trevor, gets me inspired of like, yeah, maybe I don't suck as much as I think I do because I'm really hard on myself. And so find those people in your life, the couple people, and build together, build stronger, be better, and be in your life. Don't drive through your life and then 10 years pass and you're like, how did I get here? Live every day in your reality and get after it.
Outside of autopilot.
You
don't want to stay there.
So, but he's got some stuff he's got to do. I got to go to work.
Yes.
So we're going to close it up. And this is another episode. Dude, I love doing these episodes, man.
They're a lot of fun.
Great times.
Put on these headphones, throw on this mic,
and bada bing.
You go to a whole new place.
Bada
Again,
boom.
could have been the
Cha-ching.
pre-workout. I don't even know.
Yeah.
I feel great.
Feels good.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. My chest feels really heavy. I can't breathe. If I dry domed it or whatever it's called. Whatever it's called. You said dry head, dry dome,
dude,
something weird.
You chill out, bro.
What? I don't know what he's talking about.
I'm trying to end it. Oh, okay. So,
smile and wave. Smile and wave. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, I think it's hitting me now, and it's been like
it took
an hour.
long for me. Oh, it took a long time for
well,
you, and all of a sudden you're like, "Whoa, I feel it now."
It's a whole new world, and all the lights.
There's no carpets here, bro.
All right, dude. So we're gonna end it. Thanks for coming and watching another episode, and
or just listening.
I'm trying to figure out the Spotify stuff. The apps are, it's not syncing or something like that. But we're gonna get there, and check out his podcast. Give a shout out to your podcast.
Meet us at the Lou. That is an awesome podcast where I get to interview different people. Again, not trying to be cliche. He's on it, and it's pretty awesome. You guys already love him. So it's an awesome podcast. We just talk about life, different challenges in life, the faith, the lack of faith, and all kinds of great things. Topics come up to learn and grow, because that's what we're about, is learning and
give
growing.
a quick shout out to your business.
My business?
To your lawn care business.
Oh.
I had a couple people asking about.
Awesome. So I own and operate The Lawn Guy. That's who I am. That's the name of the business. It's here in Rolla, Missouri. I do the area of Rolla, St. James. I will travel down to Newburgh and do that area as well. And I've even been to Houston, which is like an hour away, to do a job there. So we do different projects, landscaping projects, and then also lawn care, of course. When that grass starts growing, we start mowing. That's what we do.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good slogan. All right. Well, that's the episode number 4. And it's been like a week and a half, so we're killing it.
Yep, and we just keep releasing them like right when they're done. They should have we should do a Friday thing or a Monday thing.
We're just trying to get a few of them out.
We're just
there,
like,
right away. Yeah, it
eventually
it will. Pre-workout. Eventually it will come out. Probably 1 or 2 days consistently, like on those days. But I'm just trying to push out some videos right now, just so people can get an idea of what the podcast is going to be about. And eventually we'll have some guests on and stuff. But I've got some things I want to do, like maybe get another third mic and chair in here and stuff like that. Just see how it goes. But
My heart just keeps freaking out, dude. I'm telling you, it's like,
dude, you're good, bro.
it's like coming up in my throat, and it's like, but I'm like, is everything okay? Like, we're good, right? Like, I'm not gonna freak out. Sorry.
Hey, deep breaths, man. You got this. You got
Jabra.
Jabra.
What was that?
Dude. Okay, man. I'm gonna close for the 5th time. This Life as I Know It. Thanks for coming and watching, and see y'all later.